Today, I'm going to teach you how to figure out how much you should charge for your consulting and coaching services. And I'm going to actually give you my how to price your products workbook for free.
CPTV, you an entrepreneur, I got what you need.
Hey there, my loves. Welcome back to CPTV. I'm CP, and this is the place for aspiring and growing entrepreneurs who want to turn their passions into businesses and those businesses into 6- and 7-figure empires. But how do you do it, right? Well, I am here every single Tuesday to show you. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and click that bell so you don't miss any of it. And if you like it, then show me, put your money where your mouth is and prove it. Smash the like button and ask me anything that you want about your business, your entrepreneurial steps in the comments below. I love trying to answer all of your questions. So one of the hardest things to do as a coach or a consultant is to figure out what to charge people, right? Because if you charge too little, then you're setting yourself up to lose money and become extremely frustrated. But on the other hand, if you charge too much, you run the risk of losing potential customers. And don't nobody want to run off none of their money. Now, do you? Right? So how do you pick the right price? How do you know exactly what to charge? It's probably the number one question that I get all the time. And I actually spend a ton of time with my students and my coachees figuring out step by step the perfect price for their products and their services. And guess what?
Chicken butt.
No, not chicken butt. What are you guys, like my 13-year-old? Today, I'm going to teach you how to figure out how much you should charge for your consulting and coaching services. And I'm going to actually give you my how to price your products workbook for free. My current students actually pay for it. So stick around for that. And I'm going to help you do all this pricing in 3 easy steps, because it means that much to me that you get your pricing strategy all the way together. Yep, that's right. So let's get to work. Step number 1 in knowing how much to charge for your consulting services or your coaching services is know thy customer. Namely, how much they can afford to spend, how much they are willing to spend, and what do they value the most. That piece of information is going to be critical in you determining your pricing. And so when I talk to people and they say that they're having a hard time coming up with what the right price should be, it's usually because they don't have a concrete idea in their mind who they're actually charging. Let me give you a perfect example. I've got some products and services, and you guys have heard me talk about this before, that are very high ticket and very high priced. Those prices are targeting a very specific customer. And the reason why is because those prices are prices that I know that customer can afford to pay. That's why I always say you have to have kind of a ladder of products and services, because you want to make sure that you've got services that are designed to meet the price points of different audiences. For instance, when I created my Startup Academy coaching program, one-on-one coaching, I knew that it was a higher priced service. And I knew that there was a very particular customer that would be willing to pay that much for that service. But I wanted to reach more startup entrepreneurs. And the fact is, startup entrepreneurs are starting. They don't have a lot of money. And any money that they do have, I really want them to be able to invest in their business. So that's why I created the Startup Membership Academy, to give my startup entrepreneurs a price point that was comfortable for them. Not all of my products and services are high ticket. I also have things available for those with a lower budget and a lower price point. And that is what you have to do when determining your pricing. You can pick the wrong price for the wrong audience if you don't know who your customer is. That's why I say step number 1 in really diving deep into figuring out what to charge is to know who exactly you are going to be selling it to. That's why that demographic information that I've given you before in determining who your ideal customer is, and I'm going to go ahead and link to that video right now. When we go through that, I tell you to figure out not only their demographics, but their psychographics. And the demographics do include like things like income, disposable income, where they're buying things, who they're buying things from, how much they're paying for things. All of that is important for you to be able to determine where your price point is going to fit in with them. And if you feel like you discover in that ideal customer that your price point isn't going to fit, then you either have to adjust your price point or you have to adjust who your ideal customer is. So step number one in really being able to price your product or your service is to first determine who you're going to be selling it to, and then you got to get to know the ins and outs of everything about them so that you don't miss the mark. Step number two in knowing how much to charge for your consulting or coaching services is understand the different types of pricing strategies that are out there. Look, there are typically 4 types of pricing strategies. You've got cost plus pricing, competitor-based pricing, value-based pricing, and service-based pricing. Let me break these down for you a little bit because understanding them will give you a good framework of the direction that you may want to go in. I'm going down. Y'all know I had to bring MJB in. Did y'all see that Super Bowl performance? Anyway, cost plus pricing. With cost plus pricing, you work out all of your costs to provide the service. Then add in a percentage for the amount of profit that you want. Keeping in mind that costs means everything that goes into producing the service. It includes your materials and labor and overhead expenses like rent, insurance, heating, employee benefits, so on and so forth. In the competitor-based pricing strategy, you analyze your competitors and the market conditions, and you set your prices accordingly. This method can be effective because you're charging the going rate for a product or service. And if customers are currently buying something from a competitor of yours for X amount of money, this will give you a good indication that this price is something that they're willing to pay you for as well. And when you decide on the price using this strategy, you can choose to either undercut that price, but you want to make sure that your pricing covers your costs and profit, or you can offer your product or service at a slightly higher price. But remember, if you do it that way, you better bring and illustrate the value. All right? In service or package-based pricing, you are in essence charging based upon the time that it takes by the hour or the day to deliver the service. Or you are charging one total amount for the project or for the package of services or for your specific deliverables. In value-based pricing, you are charging based upon the result that your customer will experience, the transformation, and the value that they perceive those results will bring into their lives. That is the pricing strategy that can really get you into the high dollar amounts if you are good at identifying your unique value and you know that customer very, very well. Because again, you can't count nobody's pockets, all right? You can't say whether or not somebody will spend their money, whether they have it or not, or how much they will spend, because both you and I know that people will spend money whether they have it or not, if it has a certain perceived value to them. And when you are choosing this pricing strategy, you have to be able to market that value. And honestly, what you can charge can be pretty endless. The better you get at talking about the value, the more you can usually charge. Now, you're wondering, okay, CP, which one of these pricing strategies should I use? How do I price my stuff? And that, my love, is where the workbook that I'm going to give you in step 3 come into play. So first, go ahead and grab the workbook. You can download it for free at CherylCperez.com/price your service. It is designed to help you really determine which pricing strategy is the best fit for where you are in your business. Then keep watching, all right? Because I'm about to dive deep into step 3. It is what you need. So step 3 and how much you should charge for your consulting or coaching services is know which strategy is best for where you are in your business. All right. For instance, If you are brand new in business, just getting your first few clients, then I recommend a competitor-based strategy. It's probably where you're going to want to start. Why? Because it's quick and easy. And it's a good baseline to start with to build your confidence and help you begin to gather some data and some information.
What you talking about, Willis?
Well, you can't really progress into using the other types of pricing strategies if you don't have enough experience and information in pricing and in your business. In order to use cost plus pricing, for instance, you have to truly know and understand all of your costs. And in order to really truly know your costs, you have to have been tracking them for a while. Usually, you have to have been doing all the right financial stuff, have it completely set up. You have to set up your finances. You have to connect your software. You have to have all your expenses going into your business bank account. You have to review them regularly. You have to have all your revenue going into your business bank account. And you have to be able to produce P&Ls. And then, and only then, is cost plus pricing going to be an effective strategy for you. And then, of course, that takes time and that takes experience. And that pricing strategy is really better suited for businesses that have been around with customers and financial activity for between 1 to 3 years. But you will definitely get there. As long as you have your financial structure set up properly in your business, you will get there. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you should check out my video, which I'm going to link to right here, where I teach you how to set up those business finances. You got to do it quick because you'll never be able to expand your pricing strategy options into cost plus or service package based pricing until you have done that. And that is me keeping it real with you. All right. In service-based or package-based pricing, you really need to understand how long it takes for you to do your services. And in order to really understand how long it takes, you have to have been doing them for a minute. All right. You have to have done it over and over and over again. I know you've probably heard other videos tell you to stay away from service-based pricing because you don't want to tie your blood, sweat, and tears to the number of hours it takes to get something done, right? You don't want to tie your value to time because everyone's expectations of how long things should take are completely different. And it can create so much stress for you and your clients. But it is what it is. It takes time to know. So if in the beginning you need to charge by the hour, do it. It's okay. Just pay attention to how long things are actually taking you so that you can graduate from that pricing structure pretty quickly. And you can begin to tie your pricing to value instead. Now, once you have grown your business to the point where you have data and information and you understand what's going on and you've built in processes and automations that will help you become more efficient, then you can begin to use value-based pricing using packages. That is where I am in my business. My pricing is not based on my competitors because honestly, I don't really care what they charge, y'all. We are not the same person. I am 100% confident that what I'm doing to deliver to my clients is extremely valuable to them. So I don't look at competitor-based pricing anymore, but I did. And I definitely don't use hourly pricing because I've got so many processes and automations built into my business that I can get things done very efficiently in almost half the time that I used to be able to get them done in. And if my money was tied to time, I'd be getting a lot less than what I actually deserve. But at this point in my business, I have a good understanding of how much time it takes me to get services done and completed, how much value my packages and services have brought to my clients because they've told me, and how much it costs my business to actually produce the packaged services that I provide. And so I charge accordingly. I actually use a combination of a few of the strategies that we've talked about. For example, I know that my time is valued at around $500 an hour. And I know roughly how long it takes me to recruit someone for a client. And I also know how much it costs my business to offer my recruiting services package per position because I have a team that I pay and I have supplies and I have software and I've got time I spend. So my pricing strategy includes cost plus, service-based, and value-based pricing strategies. And I've tried and true packages that I've created to be able to deliver those deliverables that I'm providing. But when I first started out in consulting, I couldn't do that. And I damn sure couldn't say what my value, my time, and the quality and costs were going to be valued at. So I grew into that pricing structure, and so should you. Now, you have more of the information you need to make the decisions about your own pricing policies and strategies. Ask yourself, what are the pros and cons of each of these pricing strategies for my business? Also ask yourself, which of these models will most help me price my product or service and why? And also ask yourself, how will this pricing strategy enable me to meet my revenue targets? You also want to know how you will monitor the effectiveness of your pricing strategies, because you have to monitor it and look at it in order to grow it. Pricing is an ongoing process. What works today may not work in 6 months or a year's time. You will need to revisit your pricing regularly and make the necessary adjustments. It's okay. Just start so you can start making some money. Now, don't forget to subscribe in that bubble right next to me. Smash that like button if I helped you at all today. Let me know in the after you grab that free workbook and start working through stuff, let me know what you came up with. I'd love to give you some feedback and let me know what you are thinking about for your pricing for your consulting and coaching services. I would love to give you some very business specific feedback, and I will, as long as you comment. Okay? Until next Tuesday, my loves, stay safe. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.